As we finish lesson F2, the last page that you're looking at in your notes should be to create a table from a function rule. And what we mean for that is we want you to pick some inputs and outputs and put them in your table. Now when we say pick easy numbers, what we mean is small numbers and close to zero. So if we are looking at this, we are going to pick a couple of negative values. So I want you to pick -1, 2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. We don't want to pick fractions or decimals. And we're going to do this in both of our tables. We're going to pick these values. And the reason being is that we always want to pick points close to our origin when we go to graph, so that just makes things a little easier. So again, we're going to pick -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now as we pick those values, what we're asked to do is to use this equation and replace the x with our number. So we're going to put in 2 times a -2 minus 4. That gives us -4, and we might want to think of this as plus a -4. That's going to give us -8. If I plug in -1, I have 2 times a -1 plus the -4. I get -2 plus -4, that gives us a -6. We can definitely see when we plug in 0, 2 times 0 gives us -4. Again, 2 times 1. And if you want to pause the video so that you can do the 2 times 2 and plus the -4 and get those two answers. And then on this table, we're going to do the same thing. So again, here we're going to start with -2 and we're going to square it plus 9. -2 squared, remember, that is going to give us 4, and 4 plus 9 gives us 13. I'm going to start this one out putting the numbers that you're going to be putting in, and I want you to finish and get your table filled in. And you're going to kind of notice something special in that next one. So in class, you're going to pause it now so that you can see. You're going to try and fill these in, and then we'll turn it back on, and if the sub needs to pause it again for you to see, you can do it. On this first one now, you should have filled those in with -4, -2, 0, and you look at that. Are we adding 2? Is y changing by 2 as x changes by 1? Yes, our slope is 2. At 0, was it -4? It was -4. So again, our y-intercept. This one's a little special. It's not a linear equation that we're going to be talking about. So 4 plus 9 gave us 13. 1 plus 9 gives us 10. 0 plus 9 is 9. But 1 plus 9 again is 10. And 2 plus 4 gives us, or 4 plus 9, excuse me, gives us 13. So we can see that if we're asked to fill those in our homework tonight. The last part is the determining a function. Now, we have 2 ways from the video that we talked about. For each input, there's an output, and the other thing is a vertical line test. So what I want you to do right now is try and decide if it is a function or not. Now I'm going to put it up in a few minutes. Talk to your shoulder partner or the person maybe in front or behind you. And what you want to put down for me is yes, it's a function, or no, it is not. I don't even need the reason why on this one, but you should be thinking about the why. And remember, when we talk about the why in your homework tonight, one of the reasons is going to be for each input, there is one output. So for each input, one output. Or you would tell me that it did not have that output, okay? Or it has maybe 2 outputs, so thinking about that. You should have had some time with your shoulder partner to have looked at these. For each one, what we are looking at, this one should be a function. The first one should be a function. For each input, there was one output. If we are looking, this one is not a function. It doesn't pass that vertical line test. Here, you're going to notice right away, you got 2 -2s and 2 2's. That is not a function. And if we look at this last one, we have, if we are looking at our values, the key thing I would notice as I'm looking at this is that I have 2 for an input and 2 for an input. So this one will not be a function because 2 has 2 different outputs if we're looking at our reasons. Each input has one output, and in this one, 2 has 2 outputs. Same here. -4 had 2 outputs. As you look at your homework, we're gonna look at filling in the vocabulary. As you look at this first questions, and starting with number 6 and 7, you're trying to decide if it is a function or not. Keep in mind, one input for each output. So if you have one input for each output. Think back to the beginning of class, that at the beginning they talked about that you could actually have, when we look at that, two different outputs from the one input. One input has one output, okay? So you can't have two x's with the same, okay? If we're thinking of that. Each input, one output is the easiest way to put that, okay? So you're going to be asked, is it a function? This next part, it asks you to make an input-output table to use as the domain. That means you want to make a table kind of like what we did in our homework, and they want you to use the values -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now you may need to do this work on another sheet of paper to get your value. Some of you might just be putting the values in your calculator, but be really careful here where you are squaring. Here, you're going to take each one times a fourth, so I would be okay as you do if you get decimal answers, okay? Because they still want you to use every time -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So you're going to get 5 values under each of these, okay? The next thing is asking you to try and write a function rule. So remember, this is like our tables, what we did before. We got to find the 0 value in both of these. So remember that trying to get that 0 value. Other things to keep in mind is how do you write that function relationship? That is going to be our y equals the mx plus b. So the b is our 0 value. How did we find m in the table? Remember, that's our change in y divided by change in x. So you might want to either use the slope formula or think about those. And as you look at these last few questions here, they want you to kind of think about, you're going out for dinner, each one has the same price. What would that, is that a function? Again, they're asking you, if he earns his time, would that be, is the amount of money a function? And these last ones, you're using R and T. It's kind of the same as using X and Y, but you're thinking about input to output, and what they really want to know is it a function? Good luck on your homework, and I will see you tomorrow.